Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our 2021 as well as 2020 donor recognition. My name is Dr. Marilyn Wells, and I'm the Chancellor at Penn State Brandywine. And I believe that I've met most of you, but if I've not met you yet in person, I look forward to doing so just as soon as is possible. Okay, I'd like to thank you so very much for supporting Penn State Brandywine. We look forward to celebrating our philanthropic accomplishments in person next year. However, this evening would like for you just to sit back and enjoy hearing many of the highlights of philanthropy at Brandywine that is having far-reaching impacts. And though you couldn't be on campus this evening, we've shared throughout the slide tonight many of the new shots, photos of our campus. So without further ado, philanthropy lies at the heart of human greatness. And so this evening is all about celebrating human greatness, the greatness that you as our donors represent, as well as the greatness that you help to bring out in our students and our faculty and our campus. So we want to keep this to an hour this evening. So without further ado, let's take a look at the philanthropy highlights from the past year first, 2020, 2021. And then we will also look back 2 years, since a year ago at this time, we were into the earliest stage of the pandemic and didn't have this event even in a virtual fashion last year. So we get to celebrate 2 years of philanthropic greatness tonight. So the Wilbur C. and Betty Lee Henderson Foundation Scholarship to recognize veterans and ROTC students supported by the foundation. And this is a new endowment this year, and veterans are an area that we would like to grow on our campus, and we're very grateful for this scholarship. Also in veterans, the Jack and Carol Wickstead Veterans Scholarship, established by Jack and Carol Wickstead. The Rosenberg Fund for the Center for Ethics and Civic Engagement, supported by David M. and Marjorie D. Rosenberg. And you can see some of the many things that our Center for Ethics and Civic Engagement leads, from equity and access to food insecurity and hunger. We also had received a gift from the Ethel Sargent Clark Smith Memorial Fund to further advance our Penn State Brandywine launch box. And the photo represents our launch box location in downtown Lansdowne. We also have the Allison Edward and Grayson Orman Educational Equity Fund, established by Allison Menges Orman. And of course, you know just how diverse Penn State Brandywine is. We're up there in the top tier of Penn State campuses in our student diversity. Okay. My next slide isn't advancing here. Okay, the Educational Equity Scholarship Fund for Penn State Brandywine, another new fund that we established this year. And I took the lead on establishing that, and it also was supported by many friends across the Brandywine community. The W.W. Smith Scholarship Program, which is funded by the W.W. Smith Charitable Trust. And one of the other new developments we've had this year is if you go to our Penn State Brandywine website and you look under tuition and financial aid, you'll see that we have over 60 Penn State Brandywine scholarships listed that our students all benefit from. Okay. Oops. We have the Elaine M. Gorman Renaissance Scholarship, established by Elaine Gorman. We have the Norman and Marietta Mabry Believe, Play, and Have Fun Fund for mentoring at Penn State Brandywine Athletics. A lot of words there. I guess I need some mentoring on saying that. Established by Norman and Marietta Mabry. And you see here one of our student athletes that will be walking across the commencement stage this spring. You can see him recognized here on senior night, and he actually will have be a part of our commencement program come May 8th. Okay, now we're going to look at just a few of our philanthropy highlights from 2019 to 2020. Okay. One of our newer funds is the Boxer Retention Fund at Penn State Brandywine, established by Sarah and Doug Claypool. And Sarah will be our speaker later this evening. And in case you wondered, like I did, where does Boxer Retention Fund come from if their last name is Claypole? Well, it's actually named after their boxer, their favorite dog. We have the Ernest and Angela Repice Endowment at Penn State Brandywine, an additional gift into this scholarship fund this year. And in just a few moments, you're going to hear from some of our students, one of whom is a recipient of this particular scholarship. Okay. The Spencer Foundation, a grant to support some of the faculty work on our campus, their research and their scholarship. And our faculty very much benefit from philanthropy as well as our students. Okay. CTDI made a gift to the Future Fund, and as the name states, the Future Fund benefits many of our forward-looking initiatives at the campus. The Michael Menachini Scholarship Fund Committee worked to support our general scholarship fund. And this photo here is from our very first Athletics Hall of Fame event, which occurred in January of 2020. And the second person from the left there in the green is Michael's sister, and their family attended that evening. And Michael was a very special person on our campus, and we're grateful to keep his memory alive and students benefiting far into the future. Another example of the far-reaching impact. And of course, we've been very appreciative of the generous funding of the Verizon Foundation to support our STEM options programs, which are now known as STEAM explorations. Okay. So as you listen to these various scholarship funds, you can see that they are really organized around our 5 fundraising priorities for our campus: scholarships, educational equity, academic excellence, athletics enhancement, and our Invent Penn State Launchbox, which supports workforce and innovation initiatives. And at the center of all of our fundraising priorities are our students. And as you can tell, this was a photo taken from this year with our lion shrine in his mask and one of our students taking a digital photo there as well. And our fundraising priorities are organized. Why is my slide not advancing again? There we go. Our fundraising priorities are closely aligned to support our brand new strategic plan, new opportunities, new stories. And our new strategic plan at the core is our vision. Penn State Brandywine will be a leader in student success, known for educating students to become valued professionals, leaders, creators, engaged alumni, and responsible citizens. And we have 3 goals for our Penn State Brandywine strategic plan, very closely aligned to Penn State's strategic plan and many other integral strategic plans across the university's units. Our goals are grow our student population. So you can see, for example, our gifts around veterans will help to grow our veteran student population, to foster an equitable environment. While we are very proud of our diverse population of students, we realize that we have much work to do to increase faculty diversity, to further diversify the campus climate and create that sense of belonging where all feel welcomed and contributing members of our campus, and to increase our visibility in the community locally and globally. Okay, so now, as I promised, we will hear directly from some of our current scholarship recipients. And so I'm going to stop the share, Sarah, so that you can go ahead and play the video of our students.
Hi, my name is Katya Yatsenko and I am a senior biology student. I just want to say thank you so much for all your support. Thanks to donors like you, I've been able to study abroad in Singapore, do undergraduate research, service trips with the Christian Fellowship, and also represent our campus as a Lion Ambassador. And now I am able to pursue a career in health communications. So thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Dawson. I'm a sophomore in Human-Centered Design and Development, part of the College of IST. I serve as Secretary of the Lion Ambassadors and a peer mentor, and I was also recently admitted into the IST Diplomats program up at University Park. I'd just like to thank Mr. Sheets and Mr. and Mrs. Echternack for supporting me with the Jane Hausman Sheets Memorial Scholarship. I'm a very driven student that will work extremely hard for success, so being rewarded for that quality really means the world to me. Thank you so much for supporting my efforts.
Hello, I am Alicia, and I would like to thank you very much, Mr. and Mrs. Clayton, for selecting me for the Clayton Family Award. Receiving these scholarships means so much to me. I'm able to more focus on my studies and applying for future jobs since I don't have to worry about finances. But foremost, I'm honored that my academic accomplishments are being recognized. So thank you very much again, Mr. and Mrs. Clayton, for the Clayton Family Award.
Hello. My name is Devin Davisio. On August 28th, I received a shocking email that I immediately shared with my family. As a proud member of the Penn State family, I am honored to be selected as recipient of the Ernest and Angela Reppes Endowment at Penn State, Delaware County. I would like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Reppes as their scholarship pushes me to try harder and harder each semester at Penn State.
Hi, my name is Vidi Duivey, and I would like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Ernest Reppes for their generosity. Due to their scholarship, I was able to back down from some financial burdens, not only me, my family too, and truly focus on my education. I was able to participate in more extracurricular activities, be more involved in what the campus is doing, and enjoy what I'm learning rather than being stressed about it. This financial help does mean a lot to me, and I would like to thank them for their continued support in my education and their interest in me. If the time may allow us, I would love to meet and thank them in person. Thank you so much once again, and this is Vidi Duivey. I'm a junior and I'm studying CAS. Thank you.
Hi, my name is John Lixie. I am currently a psych major at Penn State Brandywine, and I like to thank all the donors who provided support for me and many other students. Your resources, your support to this school helped me get through college. I was able to buy books, able to do other things with my life, and I would like to thank you once again. Thank you, Penn State donors. I really appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Julianna Hepburn. I'm a sophomore here at Penn State Brandywine majoring in psychology, and I wanted to thank Mrs. Stimler for awarding me with the Thomas E. Hare III Memorial Award at Penn State, Delaware County. This award has not only allowed me to continue my education here at Penn State, but succeed in all my academics. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Brennan Pelletier, and I'm currently a junior at Penn State Brandywine. I'm a commuter student from Westchester, Pennsylvania, and I'm currently studying biology. I just wanted to take this time to thank Chancellor Wells for selecting me as a recipient of the David and Florence Newman Scholarship Fund. It has helped me out tremendously in helping me to meet my educational goals.
I am Kenisha Busby, and I would like to express sincere gratitude to Mr. and Mrs. Reppes. Thank you so much for your kind generosity to Penn State and the Brandywine community. Through your contribution via scholarship, I was able to completely pay my tuition for my senior year. This helped me to focus less on my financial responsibilities and more on my growth and development as a student leader as I pursued my academic career. For this, I am forever grateful, and again, I would like to express sincere thanks.
Hi, my name is Christiana Kyle, and I am a finance major and currently a sophomore. I am one of the recipients of the H. Leonard Krauss Award of the Penn State Club of Delaware County for the 2020 to 2021 academic year. I would like to thank the Delaware County chapter of the Penn State Alumni Association for their generosity in supporting me throughout my academic journey. With this scholarship, I was able to purchase textbooks, explore other opportunities on campus, and it even acted as a motivator for me to continue to exhibit academic excellence. So with that being said, I would again like to express my gratitude for the association for providing financial support for my higher education. Thank you so much.
Though we're virtual, hopefully you could really feel the emotion that they experienced. And as you saw and maybe heard in their words, our scholarship recipients represent first-year students through seniors. A matter of fact, a few of the faces you saw in that video, you will see speaking at on our commencement stage, as I just mentioned to you a bit ago. I would also like to add that your philanthropy has planted the seeds of philanthropy in these young people. For example, Christiana, one of the girls that you saw, one of the female students, has started a club, Claws and Paws, and that club has been involved in fundraising to help animal shelters in the community. So once again, talk about far-reaching impacts. You are helping to support students to be successful first year through graduation, and they are already experiencing and carrying forward the spirit of philanthropy. So depending how technologically adept you are, and honest to goodness, we practiced all this, everything went smoothly this morning, but there's always a technological bump. But if you know how to use your features, let's give a shout out to our scholarship recipients, or put your hands up and give them a applause. If you would like to have a one-on-one with your scholarship recipient, either in this virtual space, by a phone call, or in the coming days and months as you are vaccinated and comfortable, as they are comfortable, the Blue Apple Cafe is open on campus, and perhaps you can get together and enjoy some Penn State Brandywine Creamery ice cream together to have that one-on-one conversation with your scholarship recipient. So at this point, I'm going to proceed with the next part of our program. And I would like to introduce Dr. Nicola DeFranzo-Heitzer, our Director of Enrollment Management at Penn State Brandywine. Nicola joined Penn State Brandywine in June of 2017. That was the summer campus was a flurry in getting ready for the opening of Orchard Hall. Nicola came to us with over 16 years experience in higher ed. Most recently, before joining Brandywine, she was at Immaculata University. Tonight, Nicola is going to be talking to us about enrollment for today's world, what our unit has achieved this past year during COVID, especially utilizing digital technologies. Nicola is surely a rock star because over the last 5 years, our first year class just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They've got the secret sauce and they're sure using it. So without further ado, Nicola, let me turn that over to you.
Thank you so much, Marilyn. Appreciate that. And welcome everyone, and good evening. It's so good to see some friendly faces out there. So as many of you know, and especially those of you who know me well, admissions folks tend to be extroverts. So there's lots of things we look forward to each year, and they all involve meeting students and their families face to face. So when fall travel, admissions, information sessions, accepted student days, high school fairs and panels were all transferred to that Zoom world, we were a little devastated. We weren't really sure what to do. But I am proud to share that the enrollment management team at Penn State Brandywine didn't miss a beat. We created online open houses. We created virtual interactive, choose your own adventure accepted student days, virtual financial aid 101 and financial literacy sessions offered for parents in the evening, and even the ability to walk through our campus virtually, but with a live admissions team member guiding you through our beautiful campus. It was hard work at first. It was definitely a new skill set for all of us to learn, but then it kind of became second nature. And while nothing can truly replace that on-campus experience, we saw that families and the students were really enjoying our offerings. And we realized this was a wonderful way to complement what we have always done, which is having those events and all those wonderful things that happen on campus. So, and we can do that even when COVID is long gone. So to quote Jeremy Brandt, who's our senior assistant director, who has been serving Penn State Brandywine for the last 15 years, he says, we aren't going to try to put this toothpaste back in the tube. So we discussed as a team how having online admissions offerings like meeting with a counselor, taking an online tour, and online events would not only make Brandywine more accessible to prospective students, it would contribute to making college admissions more equitable. And equity, as you heard, is an overarching focus in our new strategic plan. So we will come to those students who can't get to our campus due to maybe distance or cost or financial responsibilities or family responsibilities. And just to name a few, we are happy and excited to do our part to make the Penn State Brandywine admissions experience more equitable and contribute these positive changes to the ever-evolving landscape of college admissions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nicola. And it's been so fun to watch the journey over the past year. As you said, it was hard, and many across campus are tired and weary. They're ready for this pandemic thing to be over, but we need to stay the course. But as I shared, our admissions team is always so upbeat. And Jeremy Branch, that Nicola just mentioned, was featured on a podcast, the Pennsylvania Department of Education podcast, edition 4, that was just released a few days ago, and talks much more about how we are working to improve equity at Penn State Brandywine. Jeremy, we are also very proud, is president of the Pennsylvania Association of College Admissions Counselors, and has talked about how he, through that leadership role, is fostering equity, not only at Penn State and Penn State Brandywine, but in college going and college graduation across our Commonwealth. Thank you, Nicola. And we'll have time to ask questions of Nicola just a little bit later in our program, but let me advance to the next component of our program. I would like to introduce Sarah Claypole, who you heard me mention earlier. Sarah is a Penn State alumna, a recent alumna. She also serves on our Penn State Brandywine Alumni Society Board. And you see a picture here. This is one of the graduation boxes that the Alumni Society Board sent to each one of our graduates in 2020, who we and they were sad didn't have an in-person or on-campus commencement. Theirs was virtual, but we'll be celebrating them a year from now in May 2022. Again, Sarah and Doug established the Boxer Retention Fund. And this year, while this world of work has shifted Sarah's schedule a little bit, work and family wise, she's been very involved with the Alumni Society's Alumni Mentorship Program. So Sarah, not Sarah Claypole, but Sarah Wirt, we're ready to hear from Sarah Claypole.
Penn State has impacted my life in such a positive way. In my 4 years at Penn State University Park, I gained more than I could have ever imagined when I decided to go to college. The exceptional education, instructors, and mentors, the opportunity to expand my understanding of the world and of people, game day, our amazing alumni network, lifelong friends, and memories to last a lifetime. These are all priceless to me. At the same time, I know how hard it can be to pay for college. I funded my education through private student loans and various jobs while I was at Penn State. I was a sandwich artist at the Subway on College Avenue. I did telemarketing for a coffee company, and I was a marketing intern for the Lion Cash program. I worked 20 hours a week while in school and was still struggling financially. I'll never forget the semester I was coming up short for my tuition payment. I was fortunate enough to have a cosigner and was able to draw another loan. But I think about that moment often and what would have happened if I had to withdraw from Penn State. When I graduated, I started my career in sales with a Fortune 500 company I was introduced to at the Penn State Career Fair. I was determined to excel in my career and pay off my student debt as fast as possible. Even though I was staring at a mountain of student loan debt, I knew one day I would help future Penn State students like myself. Fast forward 14 years, and I now live about 2 miles from the Penn State Brandywine campus, where I'm a board member of the Alumni Society. I've paid off my student debt, and my husband and I have started a retention fund for Penn State Brandywine students. I'm so grateful to be able to give back to my alma mater that has impacted my life in such a positive way. Penn State offered me the opportunity to become who I am today, not only through my education, but for all the reasons I mentioned earlier and more. Penn State truly put me on a path to success and fulfillment. The goal of the retention fund is to help Penn State students in our local community gain the priceless education, mentorship, community, and experiences that Penn State has to offer.
Sarah was not able to join us personally or virtually this evening, but she did share this message with us in advance. As you heard, Sarah attended all 4 years at University Park, but lives just 2 miles from our campus and has really become connected with Brandywine, kind of further illustrating that at Penn State, we are one university geographically dispersed, and we all work together for one Penn State to benefit our students. This would be a great time in our program that I would like to acknowledge. As you are aware, some of you serve on it, we have our Penn State Brandywine Advisory Board that provides excellent advice, guidance, support, expertise. The talents of the individuals are just so rich and support us in many different ways. And I see a number of our advisory board members here. And if you are here and you have your camera on, if you want to wave so we can see who our advisory board members are. Thank you so much for joining us. We have advisory board members who are in their first year. We have advisory board members who have been with us for a number of years. And we have advisory board members who are brand new, newlyweds and brand new parents that have taken time out of your day to join us. We can give a shout out to Sean Manderson and his wife who had a big baby boy just a few weeks ago and are so proud of Sean and Simonette and their family. I would also like to thank and acknowledge the members of our Penn State Brandywine Alumni Society who are here this evening. As you heard, Sarah was one of them. So if you represent our Alumni Society and you have your camera on, if you would shout out so we can meet you and thank you as well. Terrific. And I know some of you are not currently serving on our advisory board or on our Alumni Society board. Many of you have served with great dedication in the past. So moving to the next point in our program. So what comes next? There we go. Once again, philanthropy lies at the heart of human greatness. And you can just see how great our campus looks. And again, your gifts have contributed to making our campus not only so beautiful, but a very productive learning and research environment for our students. And hopefully you got a sense of the greatness that you're helping to bring out in our students and our faculty. Again, many of our faculty benefit their research and other pursuits through the generosity of our donors. So what's next? Following tonight's event, which, by the way, I neglected to mention at the beginning, was being recorded. We will share the recording, and our development and alumni relations team will seek your feedback on tonight's program. Once again, if you would like to have a one-on-one with your donor or your student scholar through a virtual conversation, please let Marlene or Sarah or Monica know, and we will certainly arrange that for you. And then we have time this evening to open this up for questions. So, okay. So we certainly welcome any questions you might have, suggestions, ideas for you, whether it's about philanthropy or anything else that any of the members of our team can share with you.
And questions, you can either unmute and ask a question or post something in the chat and we'll read them out to Chancellor Wells or Nicola or anybody else that's on that you want to ask a question to.
Hi, Nicole, it's David. I guess I'll be the first.
Hi, David. Hi, Marjorie.
How are you? So I'm just wondering if you can give us a sense of how recruitment is coming along this year and where you're finding the majority of students are coming from. Is there a particular area of interest from a student's perspective for Penn State Brandywine? Thank you.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, numbers are looking great. You know, everybody was so scared. We were really scared with how everything was going to be with this year, and it was so uncertain. But as of right now, first year applications, offers, and paid accepts are all up 18%, 43%, and 19% respectively. They've been up most of the year. So we've been really, really pleased that that's going well, and our transfers are remaining closely in line. We are still pulling primarily from our service area. So our usual Delaware County, Chester County, some Philly. We are getting some more students in from out of state, especially because of the Discover grant. And those are starting to roll in more. And we're really excited to see what May 1st is going to bring us, because someone said they think May 1st this year will really be a true May 1st where people will be making those decisions. So we're excited. We're really excited for May 1st this year.
Thank you, Nicola. And Nicola mentioned this Discover Award. Some of you might not be familiar with that. This was an award through, I saw Madeline Haynes on here, who the Office of the Senior Vice President for Commonwealth Campuses was involved in this. The Discover Award is really Discover Penn State. Hi, Madeline. And this award is a scholarship that enables students in surrounding states to come to Penn State for the in-state tuition rate. And they will receive that as long as they stay at a Commonwealth campus. Again, we are one Penn State. Some students come here thinking they'll go to University Park and they love it and realize the opportunities they can come here. Some, again, go to University Park to experience their major. All of it has to have, but it's a great way to keep students at the Commonwealth campuses. However, even though they're receiving the Discover Award, many of those students still were not able to fully meet their financial need and benefit from the scholarships that you receive. Madeline, would you like to share a word with our guests this evening?
Well, just hi, everyone. It's good to see you. I know many of you so well. It's wonderful to see names and familiar faces. My husband is here too. So I'll see if you can get him in the picture, because we also have we're also donors. Oops, he's a hologram right now. So let me explain the Discover Awards. It's especially for contiguous states. You know, where we're located at Brandywine is such a marvelous position to be in, given that we're so close to New Jersey, we're so close to Delaware, and Maryland actually too, that we have created a scholarship that would be $6,000 for the first 2 years. And if a student decides to stay at our campuses, the student will receive a $7,000 award for the 3rd and 4th year. That means that if they finish in 4 years at one of our campuses, they will have 1 year of tuition fully covered. And that is a fairly remarkable situation for us. And we're very proud of that. You know, we started it in a pilot and probably in the 11th hour 2 years ago. And of course, last year was our first year. And of course, last year, the year we're coming out of is COVID. But this year, honestly, we are tracking across all the campuses extremely well and ahead of where we were last year. It's important because many of our faculty and staff live in Delaware. They live in South Jersey. I mean, we happen to be located closer to some states than we are, let's say, in the middle of Pennsylvania. So this was a long time in coming. We're so happy to have it. And we expect, and we're seeing that Brandywine will do particularly well with this. In addition to the Provost Awards, which we've had for about a decade, and I couldn't be prouder. So I hope I've answered a question or I've piqued a little curiosity.
Thank you, Madeline. In addition to the students from our contiguous states, at Penn State Brandywine this academic year, we have students coming to us from 13 states. And oftentimes it's our athletics that draw students here. We have about almost 15% of our students, close to 1 out of 5, are student athletics, and they wish to continue that athletic experience. And that's an important part of their developing their leadership and being a student athlete. I mentioned Orchard Hall. And when I said Nicola started the year we were opening it, Elizabeth, do I see Elizabeth here? Maybe I don't. Our numbers for Orchard Hall are looking good for the fall. Again, that was so shaken up by COVID and quarantine and other things, but we actually have several students graduating this year who will have lived all 4 years in Orchard Hall. And that was their experience, has been a very important part of their college experience. What other questions do you have? What other great ideas can you offer to us?
Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Madeline. I'm wondering, in light of our location, if University Park is interested in making another investment in Penn State Brandywine, perhaps we can open up a second residential hall.
Well, you know what, David, we'll never say never. Well, it only took 6 years to get where we are with the one hall, but clearly where our occupancy is so fantastic that I think there's great confidence building. So never say never, David. Hi, Marjorie.
Let me share, while we certainly look forward to future residence halls, and if you look at a blueprint of the campus's 25-year master plan, they're penciled in there. But some of the other exciting facility endeavors we have underway is we're currently engaged in a feasibility study to modernize and renovate both parts of the library as well as our what we call our academic commons or student success area that houses our tutoring center, our science tutoring center, our multicultural lab, collaborative learning spaces. We're looking to put a campus-based, if you will, lunchbox, kind of a student social entrepreneurship, social innovation, design thinking lab. So we're underway with that. And while we've been tucking some money away for that, certainly that will be an area for philanthropy for us as well. Of course, I mentioned student athletics is an important part of our campus, and we have some aspirations to do some improvements to, most immediately, probably to our baseball and softball fields. And I just met earlier today with students from our sustainability club and our engineering club, and they are very interested in taking our campus garden to the next level. Sustainability is an important part of Penn State Sustainability Institute, and much of what we're doing on campus is a part of the learning experience, whether students are learning about planning or irrigation or engineering or selling wildflowers that they've grown in the garden. So those are some other areas between athletics field improvements, our academic success center, academic commons, as well as the campus garden, or also physical imprints on campus that we're working toward. Thank you, David, for that question.
Hi, Marilyn. This is Jack Wickstead. How are you?
Hi, Jack. Good to see you again.
Good to see you again. I'm just curious. I know we talked some time ago about the Center for Veteran and Military Students, and there was some talk about that opening in the spring of 2021. I have a unique interest in that. And I was just wondering where that stands right now.
Absolutely. And again, thank you for your generosity to support veterans. With our veterans, the center has two parts to it. One, the physical imprint, which has been in the configuration for the academic commons area that we've looked at. We're also looking at a location for that in our student union. The other aspect of the center is the activities that go along with that, reinvigorating the Student Veterans Club, the scholarships, greater web presence, and so forth. And we've actually been doing, beginning that work this year with our new Commission on Veteran and Military Success. So that the physical location of that, we are moving forward with. And again, we're looking to complete the feasibility study here in early May, and then identifying the funding sources to make that happen. We have a number of people on our Veterans Commission, I think around about 11 faculty, staff, and students. So that is moving forward with all due speed. We also have 2 new individuals in our financial aid unit that have expertise. And so we're also giving much more attention to the financial needs of not only our students who are veterans, but their dependent and family members. So that is moving forward, and we'll be sure to invite you as the center opens and is with the activities as they occur.
Great, thanks, Marilyn.
Thank you.
I'm very excited about what you're doing there relative to veterans and military. So thank you for your vision and your energy around this.
Thank you. One thing that we were hoping to do this year at commencement is to have our ROTC students actually do the posting of the colors to kick off commencement, the beginning of the commencement. This year, we won't quite be able to do that because of COVID, but each year we work in collaboration with St. Joseph's University and Widener on our ROTC programs, and we always enjoy celebrating the commissioning of our ROTC students at second lieutenants. But hopefully maybe by December, we'll be able to have the ROTC students and other veterans participate in the commencement, but we will be recognizing them in the commencement program this year, which I think is something a little new for us. Other questions or things that you've been excited about?
Jonathan looks like he's talking, but we can't hear him. Jonathan, we can't hear you. Can you post in the chat, Jonathan? Okay.
So Marilyn, I'd like to personally thank you for your leadership over the year. It's been a little bit longer actually than a year. I know this certainly was not the type of situation that you expected to come into at Penn State Brandywine, but your leadership, your energy, your ideas have been an inspiration to the board and the students and faculty and staff. And we look forward to working with you, making Penn State Brandywine a better institution for tomorrow's students as well.
Thank you, David. It's a team effort. You know, I'm inspired each day by things like this evening, and it's great fun. So thank you. Thank you. Jonathan, were you going to share some words?
He looks like he's typing. We couldn't hear him earlier either, David, or yesterday. Was that yesterday?
It's pretty humorous when Jonathan is not able to speak, isn't it? He can hear us, but we can't hear him.
Sean, maybe if you're able to share a few things that you've been involved with this year in regard to the campus, and maybe some of the things you're excited about our work this year, or what's inspiring you.
Yep, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, sorry, I didn't want to make sure I didn't have a crying baby in the background, so we're still trying to.
Music to our ears, future Penn Stater.
Exactly, future Penn Stater. You know, we're the Student Experience Committee, you know, that I'm that I'm very fortunate, to be a part of. We're really focusing on, how do we lay out a really good foundation for our students and how to enrich their experience, and how can we as alumni help that. So we're trying to think about perhaps what we can do with respect to some sort of mentoring connection or network with our students to help them along the way, and topics that are near and dear to their hearts. And I think Ms. Claypool had mentioned, student debt's important. So I think one of the things we wanted to do is perhaps, talk about financial literacy with our students. Also, try to connect with them on how to relate through different age of our alumni. So maybe we can get some younger alumni to talk back with our students because they can relate better. So that's some of the things that we're thinking about doing. And I think that'll help, hopefully, the tension and also just with the connection between us as a board and with our students. So
thank you. Mentoring is an area we've been focusing a lot on with Dr. Sturl's leadership. We're going to have a first year seminar for all of our students. And we're working with several different funding sources and movers and shakers to hopefully have a mentoring experience for each of our first year students, whether that's we received a gift through the university's Office of Educational Equity. We're receiving funding through the through Madeline's office. We're part of a particular pilot initiative with that. But we also have, I see Norm and Marietta are here who have made a gift to support mentoring for student athletes more in their junior and senior year related to career success, because mentoring is very important for our students at all stages. Again, from first year, it might be, what do I major in? To I know what I want to major in, what kind of career could I do with that? Just, all kinds of things. But the mentoring needs change throughout their life. Also through the advisory board, through our career and professional development committee, which is chaired by Micah Rada, as we are kicking off for the first time a 6-month pilot mentoring program for our staff who have not had as many professional development opportunities, and that's going on as we speak. Norm, would you be interested or willing in sharing a few words about your interest with the student athlete mentoring program? If you get unmuted and want to share a few words, just speak up and we'll have you share that. Vipka, would you maybe share a few words about the first year experience and the great work our folks are doing?
Sure. So we have a team that worked all year long ever since I came on board last August.
We were unmuted. That's
okay. Vipka, would you hold for just a minute? We'll
sure.
Leave Norm and Marietta, and then we'll come
Sorry
back.
about that.
No, great.
Well, I was saying that the real key person is from the university standpoint, the athletic director, Bobby Kasperi, whose family has been friends of our family for a number of years. And we think she does a bang up job out there. And it was she who, we talked about mentorships for athletes for a couple of years now, I guess. And she really put it together. And we were able to come up with some additional money for this year to kind of spearhead the one for the athletic program. And I think it's needed. It's a very successful program. It's worked extremely well. And a number of other schools. I have friends who have been mentors for athletes at Westchester, University of Delaware, University of Pennsylvania, Villanova, and all the schools, the larger schools seem to have this program that works very well. I worked with a fellow from a pitcher for Penn for about a year and a half ago, and it worked out very well for him and very well for everybody. And we're just really pleased to be part of the whole thing.
Thank you, Norm. And it was so great to talk to you a few weeks ago. And this program will be a collaboration between Alumni Relations at Brandywine and athletics, and with the gift of with Norm and Marietta, something we're kicking off this year, and we're very excited about that. Vibke, let's go back to you to share a few words, and then maybe Gary, if you want to offer a word or two about athletics, would certainly welcome that. So.
Okay. Yes. So since I started in August, we had a working team, a first year seminar working team, and we are now ready for fall semester. We have faculty and staff who are very eager to teach a first year seminar course for each and every incoming student. So every student who will start in the fall will have the opportunity to take a first year seminar. And there are shared modules, so students will learn about financial literacy, study habits, you name it, there will be a module. And so we hope that our students will transition a little easier and stay with us a little longer.
Great, thank you. One of the other pieces they're working on is the career exploration. Us, like any other university in the nation, our #1 major is the exploratory or undecided. And when we can help students figure out their academic purpose, whether that's through a club or organization or through advising or career exploration, the likelihood they will continue and graduate is much higher. So that's a piece of that as well. Gary, did you want to share a few words about athletics and maybe say a few things about how they've been navigating the world of COVID this year? No easy lift.
Sure. In case everybody doesn't know me, my name's Gary Moe. I'm the Interim Director of Student Affairs at Penn State Brandywine. I don't know if I can say anything else than what Norm's already said about Bobby. She is fantastic as an athletic director. She has really taken that program in lots of great and awesome directions. Right now, they are, the good news is that some of our teams are competing in COVID and during a pandemic, which isn't an easy lift at all, but they're doing what they need to do. Our softball and baseball teams are doing really well as they're competing. Golf is doing well. So they're doing what needs to be done. They are testing 25% of their athletes every day that are actively in competition. And then the rest of the student athletes are being tested regularly, but just not as often because they're just engaging with each other in practices and that type of thing. So, as with anything, as with this virus, we have had some students test positive, but by and large, because our students are doing everything that we're asking them in lots of good ways, we have not had any significant outbreaks. We've not had any significant spread. And so things are going really well. And the same can be said just by and large in terms of just general student engagement on our campus. We do, both last fall and this spring, we've had on-campus events for our students and virtual events, and we've encouraged students to engage in that way. And we're finding that students really are looking for those experiences. So I think when we come back in the fall, I think students are going to be ready and raring to go. And hopefully we're going to spend the summer, in student affairs, planning what that's going to look like and how we're going to capitalize on a lot of good momentum heading into the fall semester.
Thank you, Gary. And as you re-engage with the world in ways that are comfortable to you, I can't think of a better way to get out and get some fresh air than to go by Maple Zone and cheer on our baseball or softball teams. Their schedules are on our website. We certainly know that faculty are the heart and soul of our campus, the wind beneath the wings of our students. Sometimes they're the gust that needs to push them and make sure they get those things completed. Peggy Signorella, Dr. Margaret Signorella, is the chair of our Penn State Brandywine Faculty Senate, joining us this evening. Peggy, would you be so kind as to share some of the ways in which faculty can benefit from philanthropy, as well as many of our faculty are generous donors. This year for our Giving Tuesday, we had a record year of giving, both the number of donors and total gifts. So Peggy, would you be so kind as to share some words about the role of faculty in philanthropy?
Well, first I want to thank the donors for supporting the students, because as advisors and faculty, we know how difficult it can be for our students to pay the Penn State tuition and to survive in our current pandemic. And so it's such an important contribution to our students. But faculty also need assistance in supporting research. There are many costs associated with the kind of research that faculty are engaged in. And so that support is also crucial to the success of the research and scholarship here at the campus.
Thank you, Peggy. Peggy herself was a recipient of a national award in her field this year of psychology that looked over many years at the role of women in psychology. That's a very simplistic, but that would be our educational equity funds support scholarships for students, but some of them also support faculty research and projects. Dr. Josh Phillips, one of our many rockstar faculty, this year had a chapter published in a book that looked at the role of sit-ins in diners in the Midwest in voter education and voter rights. So many of our faculty are involved in important research around educational equity, and they at Brandywine, our faculty are exceptional in engaging students in that research. For some students, it's athletics that helps them to succeed. It's a variety of things. For some, it's research. For some, it's mentoring. And that undergraduate research experience is vital for many, and many of our gifts do support that. We're at the top of the hour. We very much wanted to keep this to 1 hour in this Zoom world. So again, I can't thank you enough for joining us this evening, and most importantly, for your generosity and your gifts, not only in the last 2 years, but many of you have had a lifetime record, a long history of giving to Penn State Brandywine, and some of you have planned gifts for future giving. So we are so very grateful for you, your generosity in the many ways, the far-reaching impacts of your giving. Marlene, is there a final word you need from your end in terms of closing out this evening?
Not at all. Just thanks so much for everyone taking the time, and thank you for all of the gifts that you've made to the university. I think just about everybody here is a donor at some level, and we really appreciate it and look forward to connecting with all of you in person just as soon as we're able.
Yep. And I want to also acknowledge Bill Tyson and his strategic communications unit that is very involved in helping to share the stories of our donors, whether that's through media releases on our website and in social media. And Bill's unit has a terrific role in that. So once again, thank you so very much. I can't wait to see you in person in some capacity. And behind me is the Lion Shrine, getting all ready for commencement and the students' photographs. But please do enjoy the rest of your evening. And we're here to speak with you and to support you as our donors and friends. So have a wonderful evening, and until next time.